Alright guys, so the shop's been dead for the past couple of days really. So got caught up on my customers' knives and I threw a couple of mine in the clamp and knocked them out today. And they turned out really surprisingly good for how quick I sharpened them. And something I'm just noticing, or I don't know if it's a common thing for me. I'm thinking it probably is, that when I'm sharpening my own knives, I am not as critical and I just, sharpen the knife. I'm kind of like on autopilot. The way that I have learned, applying all my techniques and methods without really overthinking anything, and just kind of go through it all without getting hung up on any one little specific detail. And this is the result. Got this knife done in maybe 40 minutes. It's a semi-polished edge. Took it to F400 with my Veneves. And then I stropped it on this piece of leather right here with some green compound stropping paste that I actually got from Mike Kent, one of the owners of River's Edge Cutlery. He sent me a couple strops to test out that he is considering carrying, and they came with the stropping paste, and I hadn't used it before until he sent it to me. But since I already had green compound on this piece of leather previously, I figured, hey, I might as well give it a try. And I'm actually surprised with how effective it is, especially when you're, not necessarily going for a mere polished edge. You just want a good compound for edge maintenance. This stuff works really good, and it's actually it's unique compared to the standard green compound because you have a lot less friction as you're pulling your edge across the piece of leather, which can be very helpful in some instances. And I think it kind of helps you to it reduces the risk of rounding your apex or over polishing your apex, because you don't have to really push down to feel like you're making a good connection, and you don't have to fight the knife to drag it across the strop like it's sticking to the strop. So it's a combination of good feedback, so you have the confidence and assurance that you are holding your angle correctly as you're pulling it across, but it's not intense enough feedback to where you're actually sticking to the strop and having to pull the knife. I don't know. If you freehand stropped a lot, hopefully you can kind of understand what I'm trying to say. Sometimes I have a hard time putting what I'm trying to explain into words and making it comprehensible, so I apologize for that. But yeah, this is a knife that I got in a trade, and I really underestimated it. It's not one that I would have bought if I hadn't got in the trade. So I had just enough interested in it that I accepted this along with two other knives that I had a very small level of interest, but still some interest nonetheless, and I was pleasantly surprised with. Now, this is by no means my favorite knife or anything. I'm not really much of a small knife guy. This is the Mini Ritter, or the Mini RSK, but this is a really good little EDC knife. Very comfortable, more comfortable than the Bugout, better action than the Bugout. Really like the clip that comes on these. I like the way that Hogue does their able lock, which is the same thing as the axis lock, but they do this little tri-star pattern on the thumb stud and your axis bar. I like their screws compared to Benchmade. It's pretty much just like a upgraded version of the Griptilian, in my opinion. And the blade is very nice and thin and slicey. It's essentially right about the same thickness as the Bugout blade. So if you guys have a Bugout, you know that's a nice thin slicey blade. You have the same sliciness, but you also have some good toughness and robustness. They bring some of this thickness down to the tip. The way they do the blade grind and everything makes this a very useful blade. Very comfortable in hand, textured, bi-directional or multi-directional milling in this G10. Feels very, very good. Similar to SPYDERCO's bi-directional pattern that they do in their FRN on their lightweight models, which I love that as well. But this is a little bit more premium version of that. Feels really good in hand. You know, there's not really any, as a combination, I think this is an excellent knife. And with that, it's still not one that I really carry a lot. But anytime I do pick it up, it's hard for me to put this down. It usually stays in my hand for a good while every time I pick it up because it just feels really good in hand. So definitely one you might want to consider checking out. And I just wanted to share this with you guys. So hope everyone's having a great day. I love you guys. Jesus loves you. Stay tuned. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.